Present.
Johnson.
Here.
We have quorum.
Awesome. Would everyone kindly rise, and who hasn't done it in a while? Commissioner Hoffman, maybe? Would you join us or lead us in the pledge?
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes dated February 10th, 2026, moved by Commissioner Loop, seconded by Commissioner Juliana. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Our minutes have been approved. I would entertain a motion to approve today's agenda, moved by Commissioner Erickson Galt, seconded by Commissioner Taylor. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Our agenda has been approved. Thanks so much. Anyone from the public wishing to address us on items on today's agenda, please make yourself known. All right, that concludes our actually, all right, sorry, I forgot that we only do one public comment. Any item at all for public comment? Ms. Gupta, would you please remind us of your name? And that you live in Oakland Township.
How are you guys doing? My name is Margaret Gupta. I live in Oakland Township. Everything continues to evolve. Just want to let you know, I did make record with some people regarding 5 Zoom hearing records have been corrupted by Judge Lisa Langdon to cover up the arbitrator Bob Badgley's 2 altered emails to an invalid date. So I reached out to the new regional state court administrator. He took Michelle Muscat's place back in January of 2024. The dates are important because Michelle Muscat was the center of saying that I never filed a second complaint, which I did. And that was contraindicated by Mr. Thomas Boyd in his Michigan Supreme Court complaint, saying there was a second SCAO complaint. What are SCAO complaints? State Court Administrative Offices. They are complaints that the public can file when they have a disgruntled or they have a conflict with the judiciary of the county that they're living in. The regional officer is really assigned to a couple counties, and ours is down in Detroit with Region 6. The SCAO office stated, and I asked them, hey, could you give me the file number, the case number, the record number of my 2 complaints I filed, one in September of 2022 and one in March of 2023? No answer. So I said, hey, this is a second request. I want to know what the case number, file number, or the record number, because pursuant to Michigan court, trial courts, for file management systems, you have to have a filing system. You have to have a records system. The response from the state region or state court administrative office, Region 6, was, we do not assign file numbers, case numbers, or record numbers to complaints filed with SCAO. Good luck. Okay, so they published the manual for filing management systems. Anything that goes on your court record, filed with the court, is part of your case. Anything that's not filed with the court or filed with a record or file or case number is not part of your case. Why am I bringing this up? What is the point of filing any type of complaint with SCAO, Region 6 SCAO, or your court administrative offices, because Mr. Offner said there is no documents. Mr. Lynch, now who is the court administrator, there are no documents. What's the point of filing a complaint when there's no record? There's no file number, and there's no case number. Everybody that you talk to right now in Oakland County, Detective Z at the Oakland County Sheriff's Office, your case is closed. Marianne Jurgi at the court counsel, your case is closed. Everybody says the case is closed. Based on what? There's nothing on record. There's no file. And there's nothing. That's government for you right now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else from the public wishing to address us today?
Sorry.
All right, that concludes our public comment then. We just have one communication item to absorb. Has everyone just looked at it? We don't have any presentation on anything. I want to, I brag about this program all the time. I think it's an incredible use of government, really connecting our residents to this forgiveness opportunity. $32.7 million is the expected number as of this update. $32.7 million of expected projected forgiveness for our residents. That is money that doesn't go to Washington DC. That's money that just gets to stay here, build families, build small businesses, be reinvested in our community. Yeah. Any other
From
comments on
Savvy,
this?
from Savvy.
From that
From
Savvy
your
has helped
work.
us identify, connecting our residents to existing forgiveness programs.
And that number was what again?
32.7 million.
So is there a metric here that says how many people we've helped thus far?
Yes. Where did I see that?
second
3,000, 3,292.
2002, okay. Engagement, it would be interesting to see.
What the difference between engagement and users is.
Yeah.
Well, engagement would just be the connection,
Somebody.
and then the people that follow through would be the users.
That's what I
That's
don't,
what I think.
is there a number on here that we have saved them so far?
I think the projected amount's like 32 million.
I mean, that's like
much
the
have we
potential, but
actually-
what has the actual savings been for these 3,292 users?
Oh, I see what you mean. I'm not sure, but I also would be curious how firm you are in that definition, because like a lot of the forgiveness programs are, if you just do nothing and keep doing what you're doing by X date, everything else gets forgiven. So like I'm one of those. I have a public service loan forgiveness program is 10 years of making payments.
Right,
And like none of that. I have 0 forgiven right now.
right,
But I have a really good idea of what the number will be.
but you wouldn't engage with them because you're on the public
Oh
service
no, I
program.
absolutely engage with. There's so much paperwork involved in that.
But
So I'm
I-
one of these.
From my understanding and from somebody else I know that is in that public service program, that program was there before Savvy, like you,
Yes, Savvy is not a program. Savvy just does the paperwork.
well, they're right,
Administrator, right.
okay, so you weren't involved in that with before Savvy then?
I was, but
Okay.
my servicer has been switched on me 4 times. And the processing with that
You have to
alone-
you have to, every
Oh, I have
time
to
it's
do a lot of
changed, you
paperwork,
have to reapply for all that, okay.
Yeah, and I'm in the what is it called? I had it switched during COVID to something else. Yeah, I'm in a forbearance because the program that I'm enrolled in is being sued right now by a state. So I don't know, I exist in
Okay.
purgatory and it's very confusing and you have to like,
Okay,
if I could explain bad customer service, it wouldn't even touch what student loan repayment has been.
okay,
So I'm grateful to a program like this.
okay, so it's, you're saying it's hard to put a number to for the value.
There probably is a value of like hard actually already saved.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm not sure that that's super useful. I don't know.
Okay,
I think what she's getting at is, what's the average that everybody saved? You have 3,292 people, tell me how much was forgiven for those 3,292 people?
Well, that they give us on the third page. is
Average
it
annual savings
Oh, it's there?
17.
Sorry, I didn't scroll down.
1,700.
oh, 1,700,
annually.
the
Okay,
average,
thank you.
okay.
And
Oakland County.
I think that a good way to look at it is, it's the difference between filing your own tax return versus paying a professional to do it for you. Or in our case, getting a professional to do it for you for no charge.
Right.
And, you know, if you have a very simple
That's a-
situation,
It's a good analogy,
like
yeah,
my daughter, it's like ding, ding, ding on her phone, her taxes are filed.
my son too, yeah.
With me, with TurboTax,
Doesn't
I've been
work.
working on it for weeks.
Yeah.
So I think what Savvy is doing, that value added, is that they're helping people who have complex savings and forgiveness issues.
Okay.
And there have been countless news stories about people who tried to enlist in some of these programs and been blocked or not filed the right
Messages, right,
paperwork or.
Okay, all right, this is, this helps, I didn't scroll down far enough.
I mean, part of the paperwork for this, because nonprofits are eligible too, governments don't go out of business, but if you work at a nonprofit, you're also eligible.
Right,
And if a nonprofit goes out of business, you have to like literally chase down the hand signature of whoever was in charge of HR at the time that you were there.
right,
Like, it is obnoxious. So,
okay,
the-
all right,
Yeah, these forgiveness programs were not designed to be easy to apply for and receive.
true.
Yeah, they don't wanna make it easy.
right.
Exactly, and what Savvy does is tries to make it easy for the users you know.
Okay, gotcha.
But any other comments? We'll consider that duly received. All right, that begins our interviews, and apologies that they are a little bit late to start, but everyone will get 7 minutes. We're gonna start with Christine Burke. Christine, are you here? Hello. Christine, you're going to get 7 minutes total. If you could just start with, we've got everything in front of us from your application, but if you could just start with a brief introduction, an elevator pitch, and then we'll do some Q&A.
My name's Christine Burke. I am an Oakland County resident, I live in northern Oakland County, Brandon Township. I am retired from OCHN. Actually, I've been retired for approximately a year. I have spent most of my career in community outreach. I began early on. I worked for the Illich family for a decade, and I oversaw their giving programs. There was a point where a friend had called me and said, would you consider working with Easter Seals a little bit? I said, absolutely. That evolved into me transitioning to OCHN. I have a real commitment and passion for people in this community who need supports for their mental health, for their substance use, individuals living with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And as part of my retirement, I retired because I committed to my children that I would spend more time with my family. I had a very demanding but yet rewarding career, and they committed to allowing me to continue work that I felt valuable and to giving back when and we needed to people. That is my elevator pitch.
Questions, comments? Commissioner Gershenson.
Good morning. Full disclosure, I have a great relationship with Ms. Burke. I respect you were an amazing liaison for OCHN and me and this board. And that's part of my question to you. Do you feel it's a conflict for you to have come from administration and moving on to the board?
I would say most people who know me well know that I conduct myself with integrity at all times. And being in that role, for the time I was with OCHN, I worked with 6 different CEOs. So I understand how to put in appropriate boundaries to keep people first. I think the advantage for me really is having the opportunity to be a staff member and to sit in the audience and watch board members conduct themselves. Mel Kaya was a dear friend of mine, and I considered a mentor, and I think every board member brings a unique personality trait to the board and a role. And one of the things, and honestly, when I make decisions at this stage in my life, I do that with great consideration. One of the things that she brought to the board that really led to me actually applying, she was very present and she saw people. And as I thought about this commitment, I really focused on I would want to be and I would be present for the people we serve as a first and foremost priority. And again, being mindful of the different leadership, of understanding the role of this board, the role of that board, the interaction, and how all these dots connect. I feel confident in myself that I would keep those boundaries, and I think everybody at OCHN would expect that from me.
Thank you.
Next questions.
I have a question.
Commissioner Taylor.
Hi, I'm Lenny Taylor, one of the commissioners.
A little
I
louder,
heard-
Lenny.
I'm sorry,
A little louder.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I remember you mentioning your time with your family. This committee requires 3 meetings a month in the evening, which would be taking you away from your family, and your recent retirement just said you want to spend more time with your family. Will your family be willing to, because as we all know, we say we meet, but it always takes more time doing research and meetings and going to events and things like that, that would require you taking time away from your family.
I've one daughter lives in Boston, one daughter lives in Chicago, so
So you're an empty nest? Okay.
pretty much I have one here. I have
Okay.
my entire family. My one daughter said, one saves lives, one saves the environment, one's a social worker, she saves souls.
Okay.
So my work time used to be anywhere between a 50, 60-hour week by my choice. So this, absolutely is manageable for me.
That's all I need to hear, thank you. Thank you.
Questions? Well, I'll ask one. What do you do for fun?
Oh, so really for fun, I'm just convinced my husband to buy himself a new boat because the one we had was 30 years old. He asked me to go to the boat show for Valentine's Day, and I think he called my daughters and said, it was like we walked into Target. And then she said, that's the boat. So for fun, I boat, I make cannolis, and a mean cassata cake that I just made for a wedding shower on Sunday. So,
What cake, what cake?
a cassata cake, it is a traditional Italian cake that most people, below cannoli cream is the inside filling. Italian bakeries make them, so I bake a lot of cookies and a lot of cupcakes and a lot of cakes.
I love that. Commissioner?
What lake do you boat on?
Bald Eagle, we have a house on Bald Eagle Lake.
Anything else? All right, well, thank you so much. Do you have any questions for us?
And I just want to say thank you for this opportunity. I did realize when I applied, I'm thinking, okay, I've been retired for a year. So I understand that would be a consideration and a thought. Again, though, my partnerships in this community, I think that people trust me to always make decisions that focus on people. That's why we're here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. All right, that brings us to Nicholas Cashton. Nicholas? Thank you.
Wanna have a seat?
I'm gonna trade.
You wanna have a seat at the end?
Hi there, Nicholas Caden. How are you?
Well, how are you?
I'm thriving this morning, under-caffeinated still, but otherwise just peachy. If you would make yourself comfortable, we'll do 7 minutes total. If you could just start with an elevator pitch, we have your full application packet in front of us, but just an elevator pitch, and then we'll do some Q&A.
Sure. Well, thank you all for seeing me for a moment this morning. My name is Nicholas Kaidan, as he just said. I'm a nurse practitioner that works right now in Macomb County, but I'm here in hopes to be appointed as a board member so that I can help continue to improve the lives of people that I work with daily, and then also the community that I'm involved in. Since I was a child, my favorite thing to do was to make sure that everybody in the room felt good, that they felt safe, that they were happy. My first elevator pitch ever was in the 5th grade, where I just said, I just want to help people like my mommy does. And I've just kind of followed that. That's just been my approach to life, is to make sure that everyone is not forgotten, that everybody's dignity is respected, and they're provided with the time and recognition that they need to help them live a good, supported life. So I've come here to Michigan, which is my home. I moved back into Oakland County about 4 years ago. And since then, I've just been doing my best to improve the lives. So I've worked with a lot of your companies that are actually within this county specifically. I saw that CNS was part of some of your boards and committees. Great organization. I love helping people get to know them. And then I've also seen a few of the other folks on your boards that I am familiar with as well. So it was welcoming. That was nice. So that's what I'm here to do, though. I just want to make sure that everyone gets a fair shot, and people that might have less than a full set of cards in the beginning is provided with those extra cards.
Questions? Commissioners? Commissioner Julia?
Good morning and welcome. How familiar, I know you mentioned a couple of organizations, but are you with Oakland's Health Network specifically in terms of budget and community partners?
So I'm with Community Medical Services, and we're within Macomb County.
Okay.
And I don't believe that that organization has a contract specifically with Oakland County. However, if the contract would allow it, we do accept Medicare, Medicaid. So I think if they're able to pursue those avenues, they would. Otherwise, they seek out different opportunities for care as well.
Okay. I guess the question was more geared towards Oakland County's community network in terms of, they have a $300 million budget. I mean, are you familiar like with a budgeting process and that kind of thing?
I am loosely getting more and more familiar.
Okay.
Since this position had opened, I saw an opportunity to impact more of a greater number than just the individuals that I see within my clinics. So I've started reading and looking at all of your previous meeting notes,
Okay, perfect.
which I'm glad that they're there. You cover quite a bit, it's impressive. So I've started to go through just the health network itself specifically, and been looking at the different legislation that they're working on right now, so.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Other questions? Commissioner Gershenson?
Welcome.
Thank you.
And so in your life, this is a very time-consuming position in your life. You have the time
Absolutely,
to commit to it. They meet several times a month and
I'd say okay. I spend a lot of my time doing, I suppose, work-related things, but those are, I guess that's part of my hobbies, are looking at data sets. I read very, I guess, boring material by most standards, but I'm interested in those things. I'm interested in how to get answers to questions that are a little bit more detailed than just A plus B. I like to keep the even relationships going thereafter. You know, instead of just at the board meetings, if somebody golfs, then perhaps we could golf. If somebody plays music, I'll need a singer.
Thank you. Well, I'll do one. I want to commend you for your honesty in your packet. We don't have to talk about it, but I just thank you and want to commend you. And two, what do you do for fun?
Those two things that I mentioned,
Golfing and music?
yeah, golfing is new. My brothers are really into it, so I've decided to adopt that new love of life. It's a challenge, but music is probably the thing that I do most often for fun.
How do you do music?
With the approval of my wife,
Bagpipes.
redecorated my basement into a kind of a full-on studio. I ended up, so every year near my birthday, I go out and get another instrument or another item and keep it going in there. So working on digital audio files and trying to compose everything. I'm not that good, but it's just so much fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a good way to reach out to every single person you meet.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love music.
That's awesome. Do you have any questions for us?
I was going to address the same thing that you had mentioned. So thank you for reflecting on that. I appreciate it. Those are some of the things that I also like to do when I meet with people, is give them thanks for honesty. So I appreciate that you were able to review it. It was a long lifetime ago. Lots of, we'll say, experiences that have helped me actually come to where I'm at. It isn't without the services that have been provided through a number of different networks that I've been able to achieve success. So the importance of this to me is dear. It means a lot to me to be able to help people overcome. So removing barriers is a passion of mine, and I really want you all to know that if I don't have the knowledge, I definitely have the ambition and the passion to go find it. So
I appreciate that. Well, thanks for coming in. Yeah, I will let you know. But thank you very much. You don't have to stay till the end.
it seems like you're busy today, absolutely. Well, thank you so much. I did print off my resume itself.
Oh.
I wasn't sure if it was needed.
We have a digital copy, but happy to take any paper whenever you want.
Sounds good.
Yeah, if you just,
Yeah.
I'll send some down there just in case.
and we've got Rhonda Wilson next.
Thank you so much.
Do you have several copies?
Yeah.
We need.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Just take a section, it's kind of
Oh,
So this one we're picking out later.
that's nice.
Okay.
Just reflecting, I don't know if, you all know that I like art a lot. And was reflecting on a comment that he just made about humans and humans growing and using what you learn in a different life. If you're familiar or if you're not familiar, there's a type of Japanese pottery where they use gold dusted lacquer to fill in cracks in vases, and they celebrate imperfections and they celebrate the cracks in otherwise nicely made pots by filling them with gold. And I just think that that's one of the most beautiful metaphors for humans. Obviously, it's a beautiful metaphor in pottery, but it really is just nice to celebrate the things that have torn you and made you who you are, rather than pretend that you're perfect and be tossed if you're not. But
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
What's the name of that practice, do you know?
it is called kintsugi. If you Google gold in pots,
An easier term,
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, Rhonda Wilson, welcome. Thank you for making yourself comfortable. If we have your packet in front of us, but if you just start with an elevator pitch, we'll do some Q&A. We'll do 7 minutes total, but welcome.
Great, thank you so much. And I apologize if I look down, I have notes just because sometimes I get nervous. But my name is Rhonda Wilson and I am here for the open position for the public member for the Oakland County Network. Professionally, I have worked in banking for 15 years. I currently work at Huntington Bank as a senior portfolio manager in the commercial space. So there I assist with commercial lending, where I look at the financial statements of small businesses and evaluate whether they have the credit worthiness to be able to get financing. And so I have been an Oakland County resident for 7 years, and I come before you today just because I have a desire to help the community. I want to inspire hope, and I want to let community residents know that there are resources that are available for you. And we understand that everyone may not operate the same, everyone may not have the same experience in life, but we want you to feel comfortable in the environment, the community that you're in. I watch the news a lot, so I truly do believe that there is a great need in the mental health and substance abuse space. Previously, I've served on the Lathrop Village Board of Review for 2 years, where I listened to residents come in and speak up on their property taxes and how they felt like it was unfair, how they felt that they could not afford it. And I truly believe that listening is one of my gifts that I have. My experience in the mental health, disability, substance abuse area is I have volunteered with Make-A-Wish Foundation, where I have been a wish grantor. I had the amazing opportunity of sitting with a family of a disabled child that was wheelchair bound in order to give him hope, see what he likes, and see how we can make his dream come true for a weekend. And more recently, I participated in a mental health aid training, which I believe I did provide the certificate for that, where I received a certification for being able to identify the onset of mental health crises as well as substance abuse. So it is my hope that I can use my network that I have to be able to share the resources and the offerings that this organization has, as well as identify potential collaborations that could help to fulfill its missions.
Awesome. Thank you. Questions? Let's start calling names. Commissioner Juliana.
Welcome and thank you for applying. Are you aware of how often this board meets?
Yes, ma'am, I am aware of the time commitment and I do have no issues at this time.
Okay, so it's 3 times a month and you'd have that flexibility?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Question. Commissioner Erickson Cole.
Thank you, Chair. Welcome. How familiar are you with OCHN and what they do and services they provide?
Yes, so I began to research the organization when this position opened. So I have not personally used any of their services. However, I am aware of their mission of being a network that provides resources and being able to provide mental health care, being able to provide resources for substance abuse and disabilities.
Well, I'll ask, what do you do for fun?
I like to travel. I have a goal to try to visit every state that is here, so I am slowly moving that around. I like to cook. I am experimenting in baking. Not so good in it, but I am gonna keep trying. And other than that, I'm a homebody, so I like to stay home and just watch movies.
Trying to get to every state, how many do you have left?
A lot. I just started this goal, so I still have a good 40 left. Yeah.
Well, with the exception of Michigan, what's been your favorite and why?
I recently went to California and I loved it. I just think the atmosphere is so different from Michigan. It just seemed very relaxed. The people were super nice. Maybe it was the timing that I went, but I really enjoyed that.
Which city did you go to?
I went to, I stayed in Hollywood, went to Los Angeles.
All right, anything else? Do you have any questions for us?
No, I do not.
Awesome. All right, well, thank you so much today.
Thank you for this opportunity.
All right, and that'll do Cyril Davis. California really just is a whole planet in and unto itself. I mean, it's massive, wildly diverse in its people and its geography. What a place. Anyway, welcome.
Hello, how are you doing today?
I'm slowly caffeinating myself, and I'll be better once this is empty. But no, we're doing great. We have your application in front of us. If you could just start with a brief elevator pitch, and then we'll do some Q&A. We'll do 7 minutes total. Thank you.
Got you. Hello, thank you for this opportunity. My name is Dr. Cyril Davis. By trade, I was a law enforcement officer, local and federal, for 15 years. I started out with DPD, ended up going and became an air marshal. Suffered a TBI by being an air marshal and had to rebuild my life. So mental health is really important to me because I experienced it. Ended up going to OCC, getting my associates, got my bachelor's through Chamberlain, and got my doctorate from Wayne State. I'm currently the program director at Lake Center Mental Health Network in West Bloomfield. We have 5 clinics and about 80 employees. Right now, I'm responsible for all of the community outreach and breaking the stigma. It's important to me because I lived it. I got help from the Oakland County Brain Injury Group that helped show me the way. So that's been my drive since then. That's a little bit about me. Lived in Oakland County 20 years. Wife, 6 kids, 2 serving right now. So
That's awesome. Thank you. Questions from folks? Commissioner Gershenson.
Well, welcome. So you said you were in the police force
yes,
and then something happened?
I had a brain injury while I worked for
Brain injury.
Homeland Security.
Okay, and so then you took time off, obviously?
Yeah, the doctor said my IQ was a 70, so I should just apply for Social Security disability. At that time, I was in my middle 30s, and I became a cop at 19, so this is all I knew. And so I had to rebuild my life.
Well, congratulations. You certainly seem to have been successful.
Resilience, a lot of resilience and family support, and my psychologist. That's, like I said, that's why mental health is important, because given the right resources is the reason I'm sitting in front of you today. That's the only difference. I had the right people, the right resources. If I did not have the right resources, things could have turned and went a different way. Within law enforcement, suicide is very high. I've lost a lot of coworkers, former coworkers, to suicide. One last year, the end of last year. So the only difference between me and them is support and the right resources, and given another opportunity.
Questions? Commissioner Exendahl.
How familiar are you with OCHN and the work they do and services they provide?
So a lot. Where I did my clinicals at was at New Oakland, and I learned a lot about community health during that point from me working in the outpatient sector. But just feeling like when I was hurt, I didn't feel I had access or knew about different resources. It's a lot of times there's things out there, but individuals like myself didn't find it or know it. So that would be something that's important to me, is to let the community know there are places to get help in the community, where I was looking everywhere and didn't find it until that group pointed me in the right direction.
And you're not currently with New Oakland, right?
No, ma'am.
And the organization that you work with or for is not a contractor with OCHN?
No, ma'am.
Commissioner Lubes.
I do admire your positive attitude and your motivation to work through this and become a productive member in our society again. I have a child who experienced the same. Our medical profession said the same. She was determined, she went on to become an RN. So it happened, yes. And so I understand the work involved, and I appreciate you being here.
Thank you, ma'am. And that's what it was hard. Being a cop, you know, I just know to protect and serve. So I believe the physicians at the time 100%, which probably pushed me into a deeper depression and dark places. But the right psychologist was like, hey, I don't know where this is going to go. And I didn't have any college credits prior to me starting. So I started right at OCC in Army Hills, from 0 college credits to my doctorate in nursing. So, but it was the right people and the right resources to help me get here.
Commissioner Julia.
Good morning and welcome, and well done. You've quite overcome a lot of adversity, so congratulations. Are you still receiving services?
So I still see my psychologist.
Okay.
It was great. She came to my graduation.
Oh,
a few
nice,
years ago.
okay.
But I think what a lot of people need to understand, mental health, it is forever. It's a long-term thing. So breaking that stigma that you can grow and become and do even with the challenges is something we deal with every day. So I'm happy that the place I work and the medical director I work for gives me the opportunity to see patients, but also do this in the community, which is a huge part of what I do. If you see my resume, we led the suicide walk. We came in second place, to be honest. and we do a lot. I do the men's health event every year at Ford Field, because I just know how hard it is for men as myself, especially being a first responder. That you can't, your job didn't allow you to talk about mental health. So I stand so I can say, hey, look, I'm here, I was one, and different outcome came, so.
Thank you.
Awesome. Very quickly, what do you do for fun?
All my kids are adults now, and this is new to me. My last one is graduating from IA this May, and she'll be going off to GVU. So I don't know. I've been a parent this entire time. So watch TV shows. This last 10 years, it's just been school. I've just been locked in. So a lot of TV shows and movies I've missed. I love to read books, and I guess me and my wife gonna take some time. She's a therapist, so just continue to do this and get the word out.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming in. Do you have any questions for us real quick?
Oh no, I just want to thank everybody for this opportunity, and thank you for the work that you guys do in our community. It's always the ones that's behind the scenes that people don't know that's doing. So thank you guys for everybody of what you guys are doing, and keep up the good work, and I keep up the work on my end.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, have a good day.
Thank you.
All right, we've got Craig Brown next.
Oh, Pam. Supply for primary consumer, and was that Malkaya's position?
Yes.
Yeah, and the general public, were they replacing someone for general public?
Christine.
Yes.
Oh, Christine Root, she was
resigned.
general public, okay.
Yeah, do not want to reapply.
At the end.
Hi there, Craig.
Hi.
Make yourself comfortable. We've got your packet in front of us, so if you just start with an elevator pitch, and then we'll do some Q&A. We'll do 7 minutes altogether.
Hi, everyone. Hi.
I'm Craig Brown. I've been a resident here in Oakland County since we moved here from Wisconsin in 1996 with our two sons. My sons have been receiving services through OCHN ever since we moved here. I have two wonderful sons, 37 and 35. They have profound autism, and our younger guy kind of defines profound. But they now live in their own home with a roommate with 24-hour care provided by Progressive Lifestyles. And they've really thrived in that environment. So, they have a quality of life because of the behavioral services provided. That system, though, I know is under great pressure. And my family and I obviously care very much about that system. In my career, I have had a lot of work with pressure, messy situations. I was a senior executive for automotive suppliers, large ones, and definitely understand pressure in a global industry like that. I did a lot of senior finance work and business planning work, and out of that, a lot of merger and acquisition work. With that, I had a great skill set during the Great Recession when everything really went crazy. And with that, started a consulting practice that helped businesses with transitions through those difficult times. So I have a lot of experience with challenging situations and pressures. Same time, I'm greatly involved with everything for the IDD community. Our guys are nonverbal and everything, but them, their friends, I mean, they really have no voice, and boy, they're a great group. I've served on numerous boards, Wisconsin and here. I've done extensive fundraising for Autism Society, Oakland County, and everywhere related to the autism cause. And since 2019, I've been the chairman of the board of Progressive Lifestyles Incorporated. Could help because they were going through a significant leadership change from the founder who was retiring, and also COVID, which was a very interesting time for direct care. So, basically with my financial background, and the fact I'm good at working on challenging, messy situations was something that kind of called out to me.
Appreciate that.
If there's any concern on conflict of interest, I would resign from my board position at Progressive.
All right, Commissioner Gershenson.
Welcome.
Hi.
So we do not know each other, full disclosure, and yet I've gotten a few phone calls about you, extolling your virtues, and so my question to you is, what is it about you that people took the time to call me and talk to me about you?
My wife and I really care and have cared and worked hard at this for a long time. I've seen things that have gone well, and it's a community I care greatly about because, like I said earlier, they don't have a voice. They're overlooked easy, every way possible. But when you see them included, and see everything that comes from life, my sons have been outstanding ambassadors for autism. The lives they've touched and that we've been able to have an impact on because of this work has been, I don't know, a lot of ways the stuff I'll reflect on it, as my more golden years approach you.
Commissioner Delia.
Welcome and good morning.
Hi.
So looking at your resume, obviously you have an extensive background in finance, which is important with the $300 million budget that OCHN has. and you seem to be very versed in user services based on your personal experience with your own children. So what do you do for fun outside of?
What do I do for fun?
Yeah.
I like golf. You know, after everything, I think it's been a lifelong thing for Linda and I with, you know, our sons with autism, working on our social skills. I like reading. My dad was a history teacher. I can make people suffer for that. And, you know, we just, and actually, we do a lot of things, you know, we're not that retired because of our son's situation and the rest. Actually, they consume still quite a bit of, and you haven't seen anything until you've seen an MBA and an attorney, which my wife is, change out a toilet in the house. I'm pretty, they should have filmed it.
Commissioner Gershenson.
You mentioned that you have been in some difficult transitional situations. Are you referring to something specific?
Well, with my work, it was all specific.
Well, no, I mean today. Is that part of what you see?
Oh, yeah, for the system?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, I really did. I mean, I think that was broadcasted pretty well with the RFP process.
That's right.
And also with that, you've seen significant insourcing done by OCHN and the rest of it. And I think and it isn't to say just this part of it. I think from Washington right through MDHHS down to the individual, the system is going to get an awful lot of hard look because it has a significant budget, and wherever you put a significant amount of money is where the pressure comes to. And with that, you know, that's where, you know, transitions, I mean, have a real commonality when it comes to where is the pressure, how do you work your way through it, and how do you be smart about it, and most importantly, how you keep your focus, because it's very easy to lose focus when you're dealing with these pressure situations. So a lot of things where it was a strategic thing, we were gonna do it because it was strategic, and the rest of it got the first offers in and, well, this is worth $5 more a share. It didn't get instantly more strategic overnight, it became more important, but for some reason it was worth $5 more a share now. Okay. That case, they owned that same business 3 years later, losing a ton of money, and sold it for less than was on the table then. So that's kind of what I'm referring to as an example of making sure that, you know, the system is about the people who need the services. And when you get into this with all the parts, that's got to be front of mind all the time.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions for us real quick?
Unfortunately, I don't think so.
No, that's.
I came here preparing to be the question answer.
Perfect. All right, well, thank you very much, Paulina. Appreciate it. Try.
Lenny, are you going over?
Before we start the next person.
Okay, then I'll be over in
Hi.
Hi, good morning, commissioners.
Good morning.
It's nice to
We've got
see
your.
many of you again.
Yeah, we've got your packet in front of us. So if you just start with an elevator pitch, we'll do some Q&A.
Well, my name is Jackie Sullivan, mostly lifelong resident of Oakland County. I was raised here in Bloomfield Hills and moved away for 20 years and worked in tech and came back here to raise my son. I have been a lifelong consumer of mental health services, and I am here as the primary consumer. And I think my experience would be, I would be able to serve people better as a primary consumer than as a member of the public, based on my crazy history. I have been, I was I first started therapy when I was a teenager. I was on the spectrum, and they didn't really have a name for it then, aside from Asperger's, which is strange for a kid to have that. And anyway, so I was treated for depression, and then worked in tech for 20 years. And then I had a child, and I had the most severe post-traumatic depression. And was homeless with my toddler for 3.5 years. So in California mostly, we lived in the woods for a year. During that time, I've had like a lot of other crazy trials. Anyway, I've been housed for 10 years. I am an example of Housing First and how it works. I'm a huge proponent of that. And I started volunteering down in Cass Park about 10 years ago. Every other Sunday, we serve a meal. It's a very casually organized group of people who do this. And what I realized is that a lot of the people didn't realize they qualified for benefits like food stamps. These were veterans, and they were too proud to apply. They didn't think that it applied to them. They just weren't raised in that, with the mind state that was okay for them. And anyway, I've sat many afternoons in Cass Park with my laptop, getting people on benefits. People who didn't know how to use computers or any technology, and sort of acting like some sort of vigilante social worker. I have no education in psychology. I was a tech person. I was a tech person because of the spectrum stuff. I have pattern recognition skills. Anyway, so for the past 10 years, I was working as a gig worker to raise my son, to have that flexibility. And now that he's, in middle school, I have time and mental bandwidth, and I want to get back into the professional world. But I think now my professional experience is better served helping other people, and I'm considering going into being a peer counselor. So I'm looking for a peer counselor, part-time peer counselor position, and God, don't look at my LinkedIn, it's absolutely irrelevant, I forgot to take it down. I'm gonna stop talking now. Please, it's your turn.
Sure, questions, Commissioner Christensen?
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
I'm a little bit blown away by your history. I have to commend you for where you are right now. It's really impressive, and very proud of you for all that you've accomplished. Have you ever served on a board before?
I've only served on AA boards before. Alcoholics Anonymous, I've been involved in that since I was in my early 20s. And so I was in general counsel, and so those are just in the organization and business of that.
And this is a very intense position.
Mm-hmm.
They meet often.
Mm-hmm.
Is that?
No, absolutely no problem. I have a job right now. I work for Ferndale Family Pharmacy. I work there part-time, and it's very flexible, and they know I'm looking at this.
Okay, well, thank you for applying.
Commissioner Singleton.
Again, I echo Commissioner Gershensen's words, and so happy that you are pulling it all together, and that's just wonderful. So system does work sometimes for some people. What I would ask you is, how familiar are you with OCHN and the services they provide, the work they do?
So when I first came back here, I ended up in a med crisis because I was in the California Medicaid system, which is called Medi-Cal, and it didn't transfer here. I was sleeping in a minivan here with my son when we first came here. and I ran out of meds and had to get with CNS. So I got with them in sort of a crisis mode. And I was with them until just last year, and I switched over to Easter Seals. And I'm kind of feel like I'm just starting up with them as a patient with therapy and psychiatric treatment as well. So yeah, that I don't, I'm not sure how the agencies are funded within the county. I understand that there's a multi-million-dollar budget that gets distributed, but as of this point right now, I have no affiliations with any of those agencies yet. If I could, that's a question. If I were to get selected for this position, would I be allowed to work in a company that was receiving funds from this board?
Good question.
It's a good question.
I know that I know that it's not, I know that I can't come in as an employee, but I'm just wondering, I mean, it's not like, there's a lot of demand for peer counselors.
Yeah, that's a question we've been talking about. I think the answer is yes, allowed. We're not fans of that, but I believe that's the answer.
Well, the statute, if you look at the statute, and that information's on number 10A, the statute states that,
In a non-decision-making capacity or something like that.
let's see, exclusions are a candidate may not be employed by the Michigan Department of Community Health or Oakland Community Health Network. The candidate may not be a party to a contract with the OCHN or administering or benefiting financially from a contract with the OCHN. And a candidate may not be serving in a policy-making position with an agency related to OCHN.
And it's whether or not you define a salary as a benefiting from.
I think it's more like benefiting from a contract with OCHN, like
yeah.
financially benefiting through OCHN.
So it's something we've been thinking about, needless to say.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's also the private sector that I could, aim for as well, so.
Commissioner, yeah.
Yeah, when I was reviewing your materials, it looks like you are not currently working for any agency that contracts
No,
with
not
OCHN.
currently working for any agency. I'm strictly just working for Neal Family Pharmacy and a patient of Easter Seals.
Which, yeah, so you're a patient of.
I'm a
You're
patient
connected
of
to-
Easter Seals, but I do not think that's.
No, in fact, that's a good thing.
You're not an, the
Primary consumer.
terminology.
Yeah, I mean,
is
I've
employer.
been with CNS and Easter Seals. Those are the two big ones. I know they're both probably funded by this board, so.
Yeah. Do you have any other questions for us, Phil?
Off the top of my head, no. How many times do you think it's like 6 times a month, 4 times a month?
3 big ones a month, and actually we have a calendar here too, but 3 meetings a month and then other work, just kind of like us, like we only meet a few times a month, but then there's work every day. So, is that all right?
I think it would be great. I really love the idea of, instead of sitting down in the park with my laptop, to actually be able to help people on a larger scale. It's funny, I've actually heard a lot of people in the interviews when we were watching on the monitor, that a lot of people have that same MO, which I love. I love that there are so many people who are eager to help people and, find the helpers, so.
We have good neighbors.
Yes.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you very much. Thank you all. I appreciate it.
All right, Farrakhan is next.
Brendan.
Yes.
What is this about Lenny's other meeting? She asked me to step in.
I don't know what it is.
It's human trafficking. There's a group here from,
Right.
I think, Detroit area, and I think they just wanted to interact.
So she asked me to step in.
I mean, I technically should be there too, but this is more
How long does that go?
Was there something?
It just, the email went out last night that this was gonna be happening today. It's in the Pornic conference room.
Oh.
So
I feel I'm entitled to feel a type of way about that, but that's fine. Hope she comes back soon. Hi, welcome.
Good morning.
We've got your application in front of us. We'll do 7 minutes. If you could just start with an elevator pitch, and then we'll do some Q&A.
All right. So, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Farah Khan. Thank you for the opportunity. I've been Oakland County resident for the past 16 years, chasing the American dream like every American, and I was able to attain it. I raised my beautiful family in this community, so I feel obligated to give back, put back in the community, to serve this community. I bring professional experience in Medicaid and Medicare initiatives across multiple states. I have also worked over a decade in home health care, helping elderly individuals and their families navigate through complex care systems. So I understand how this works. Also, through my run for the public office recently, I was able to connect with the people, to listen to them and understand their concerns around public health access, the issues, and so I feel lucky to be able to give this opportunity. Thank you.
Yeah, questions? No, what random names, Commissioner Gold?
Yeah, I didn't see that on your materials that you ran for office. What did you run for?
I was running for City Council, Farmington Hills.
Farmington Hills, okay.
Yes. It's a little tricky. My address says Northville, but I'm Farmington Hills, so I'm like kind of right there.
All right.
I get it. Growing up, my address was always Rochester, but we lived in Oakland Township. It's just,
Because everybody was like, your address says Northville. Are you sure? I'm like, I made sure I called the city clerk.
Other questions? Commissioner Juliet?
Thank you and welcome. How, I don't know what I was trying to scan your resume really quick. Are you aware of how frequently this board meets?
Am I aware of what?
How frequently this board meets? They meet 3 times a month. Would you have time to do that? They have 3 meetings a month.
Yes, I actually asked the wonderful lady who called me and I was like, so, I need to understand how this works. And she said, you guys meet 3 times, so it's like at least 3 to 4 times a monthly commitment. And I think that's doable. We do much more than that with the kids.
Okay, all right, well, that's a challenging part, right?
Yeah, of course.
All right,
it's like 24/7.
Right.
Commissioner Gershenson.
So I used to represent Farmington Hills before I was gerrymandered out, and they are a very responsive community to their constituents. Tell me a little bit about your work on the Health Commission.
So I've been serving on the Health Commission for the past 2 years, and I learned a lot about how public health works while I was there. We started a few programs. I was leading towards, we had the opportunity to make public safety accessible. So last year, I led the program, the ALICE program, the Active Assailant training for the commissioners. We invited all the commissioners in the Farmington Hills, and it was successful. So this year, we're working on self-defense. So it will be open for commissioners as well as the general public. So I'm kind of like the go-to person, like I am the liaison between the law enforcement and the Farmington Hills Health Committee. And also we just started another wonderful program. In fact, it's a pilot program and for us, and we're very excited about it. The first meeting would be in April, and the program is called Are You Okay? So what we are going to be doing is we'll make these meetings accessible to public, and they will be focusing on different issues. Like the first one, we are starting with mental health because we have a lot of psychologists, psychiatrists on the committee. And so we thought, why not start with our own people? And also, it is a very big concern because I believe healthy mental community is a healthy community overall. You will have less issues. And if we look through, a lot of issues root from this, So, and it's also a taboo. So take that taboo out of it to be able to have this access to healthcare and mental health care especially, and be able to address it in a friendly manner without, taking it as a sore thumb, So that's what we are doing. And so we'll be having multiple meetings, once meeting a month. That's how we are starting. And if, it works and it's successful, then we'll probably, do it twice a month. So one healthcare professional per meeting. So we'll address like mental health, then cardiac health, then all of the different issues.
Thank you.
Anything else? I have two questions. One is you're probably, and I'm sure that this isn't even the extent of it, you're probably the most, I'm gonna say global, but I don't even just mean global because obviously you have global education formally, but then you also worked in New Mexico, Missouri, Idaho. Those are not similar states. And none of them are similar to Michigan. So I'm just curious, how can you take all of that experience and seeing so many different parts of humanity and apply that to this position?
That was actually why I got curious. I was like, okay, so because every state, from the tools they're using to the policies they have to how they work and how they operate, it's all different. So the New Mexico program was like startup. They were doing everything all over again, like completely renewing their system. I was part of that. Idaho was I was supporting Idaho that was already it was already live, already functioning. So just, making a little enhancements here and there, how things were working before and now how things are working now, like how we can support the states to do better. Also the Missouri, which was the last project I was working on, very different states, but I guess the bottom line is they are there to serve the community. They're there to serve the community better. And how can we make it accessible? How can we make it easy to bridge the gaps between the community and health organizations? So that's what we were doing there.
Awesome. Do you have any questions for us real quick?
Well, yes, I do.
Oh, all right.
Okay, so I would like to know what made the last public general seat member successful. What are the qualities that you're looking for?
Commissioner Loops, not to put you on the spot.
I would say involvement and time. You definitely have passion to oversee the work, but it's time and motivation. There are ancillary meetings besides the 3 main meetings each month, and then different committees to become involved in. So it's as much or as little as you'd like to do, and of course, we'd like to see more.
And there is support,
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. Because I'm warning you, I will go to everybody if I need help or if I need answers. You'll get tired of me.
Well, this committee just appoints. It's Commissioner Loops is
Oh, wonderful.
that's on her. But anything else?
Questions.
Good, wonderful.
Anything else?
No, I think we're good. I mean, we're good to off to a good start, and I thank you for the opportunity for the interview today. And if given this opportunity, I would try my best to serve with integrity, accountability, and transparency, because the trust is what I believe is missing from community and organizations. So if we can bridge that and be transparent and accountable and show that we are sincere we care, I think we can do great things together.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, April Swatala is next.
Very nice.
Pam,
Yes.
can you, there's some cold air blowing in.
You wanna turn it down?
Oh, freezing air.
Yeah, oh good, I didn't wanna be the only one.
I would be really cold if I didn't have a jacket.
Oh, so
I agree. Sorry, I
put
got
up to 80.
For next time.
You don't have 100 people in your day, so.
Because that's where we're losing. I've noticed. That's fine. I know, no, I know. But I've been watching the differential too.
Morning.
Hi,
Good morning, everyone.
how are you?
Good.
If you just give us an elevator pitch, we'll start with some Q&A.
Okay, thank you. So my name is April Swatala. I have been an Oakland County resident since 1999, shortly after I got my law enforcement job with Bloomfield Township in 1998. I worked as a police officer in Oakland County with Bloomfield Township for 26 years. I retired as a road patrol sergeant. And one of the things that happened through my career of relating to like just mental health and realizing that there weren't appropriate services and connections for law enforcement and community members and getting into mental health. Like we had no idea how to navigate crisis calls at all. So I became kind of a thorn in the side of my ex-chief, Chief Langmeyer, and I was constantly trying to get us more connected with Oakland County Health Network, try to figure out like if we could do training. I became a mental health first aid instructor and then became quite close with Oakland County, and Dan Holloway at the time was one of the liaisons and worked with him. And shortly from after there, we several of the chiefs got together and wanted to start a co-response program. And because of that, and because of me constantly being a thorn in the side of my chief, he told me, you know, April, come on, let's do this. And so I was a part of the original board that created the co-responder, the core team for Oakland County, which now has, 10 co-responders, thank you. And that has been like my journey and my purpose. And since then, I created the policy that's still being used for the entire core program, and retired last year in 2025, and I now am the director of programs for a new state office, Michigan CIT International. So it's obviously brand new office. We are trying to establish training programs throughout the state for law enforcement. It's a heavy lift, and there's a lot of communities that don't talk to their, like law enforcement and their county health networks do not talk to each other at all. So that's something we're just trying to get people to understand, that CIT, crisis intervention training, is more than training. It's really steering committees. It's talking to advocacy, making sure you understand your community's crisis response program from law enforcement, what advocates are there for you to connect community members with, and how to involve the county health network. One of the reasons I was curious about this position as well is just because I think even in my job, understanding how the local boards work would help me understand and help communities more throughout the state as well. So that's one of the reasons I submitted an application.
All right, Commissioner.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
I represent Bloomfield Township, and so I'm very familiar with your history. And so you know this board has supported CIT training, and we've been pretty supportive of co-responders as well, and had the pleasure of working with Mrs. Zimbo for many years. So it's a really good fit to hear that you wanna bring that police training into more of a sensitivity towards the mental health world. Certainly, it's it's an area that needs to be continued and expanded. So how do you see yourself contributing to this board?
Well, I think I truly understand what crisis response should look like in a community and how important collaboration is amongst stakeholders in a community. Really, without that, everybody, you have people falling through the holes, through the gaps. And that's really what drove me, in law enforcement. I would show up to scenes and people would be asking me for help. And I had no idea how to help families. It's not only the person in crisis, right? The person living with a mental health disorder, but it's their family that needs as much help. And when you have that collaboration and understanding of partnerships, so I think that's what I bring to the table, is a true understanding of how working together builds crisis response.
Thank you.
Additional questions? Additional questions? Do you have any questions for us?
So I was kind of looking at the time requirements, because it really wasn't, I didn't see anything specifically posted. It seems like there's 3 meetings a month. Are they all in person?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, in Troy, I believe. And plus ancillary meetings and other to-dos, but 3 meetings a month, Commissioner Loops, yeah.
It's the second Monday from 4:30 to 7:30, the third Tuesday from 6 to 8, and the fourth Thursday from 5 to 7.
Are they all in Troy?
Yes.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, I'm just, logistically, I live in Commerce Township, so that's like far west side to far east side. I'm just trying to think of time requirements, travel, things like that I have to try to navigate through. So is there like a welcome packet to explain everything you'd be doing and understanding of what is currently going on and different issues that you all are addressing?
Yes. We are not the board, but yes, there is from the board itself, yes.
Okay. All right.
Commissioner Gershenson.
So we appoint to the board, but you would be interacting with their board and they would be the ones that would welcome you and bring you up to date. But I am a little concerned about what you're saying because it is a very time-consuming job. And not only are the 3 meetings intense and can be long, there can be other meetings as well.
Okay, yeah, that's a concern of mine as well. So I'm not gonna, sugarcoat anything. It's a long drive. It's and time requirements with my current position is something I'd have to think about.
All right. Any other questions? Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.
All right, and we've got Milana Jones.
83. Thanks for your service.
Thank you.
It's I say that not just because.
So this group, I just looked up the email.
It's fine.
Global Ties Detroit Team to interact with the human trafficking board.
Local what?
It's called the Global Ties Detroit Team.
Do you need to go?
No, I have to do this first.
Thank you. Hi, welcome. We've got your packet in front of us. So if you just start with an elevator pitch, then we'll do some Q&A. Thank you.
Okay, great. Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Milana Jones. I'm currently serving as the City Council member for the City of Pontiac, District 2, which is the west side. In addition to that, I am a mother. I have been a longtime leader and advocate for many public issues, including mental health. Right now, in my opinion, mental health access, behavioral and healthcare access is one of the most prominent concerns throughout Oakland County. And I'm here to use my leadership skills and experience in diversity, equity, and inclusion to advocate for community issues and to turn community feedback into policy that makes sense with inclusive government.
Thank you that was a nice, good elevator pitch. I appreciate that. Questions from folks? Commissioner Segal.
Thank you. Welcome and nice to meet you. I think we're Facebook friends. I don't know if we've ever actually met.
Facebook will make you believe you know people.
Yes, it does. No, it's so much better to meet in person, get to know you. How familiar are you with OCHN and the work that they do?
I am, very familiar through my work with the public. So my mother is a board certified behavior analyst, and through her career and through helping her prepare to pass her state exam, I have really delved into not only behavior analysis, but in mental health services. Now, I'm not a mental health professional. I've never worked in that field, but my community experience, outreach, both in Pontiac and throughout Oakland County through my involvement with SEMCOG has really helped me to think outside of those municipal boundaries and how policy affects the entire region. So regional collaboration is something that I'm very passionate about, and that that involvement with OCHN is something I'm familiar with.
Other questions? Commissioner Gershenson.
So welcome, and is this your first term on the Pontiac?
Actually, I was appointed in August 2024 for about 15 months to finish out my predecessor's term, who had to resign. But then I was reelected last year for a full 4-year term.
Okay, congratulations. As you know, we work closely with Pontiac, and we're very excited about your new leadership and all the projects that we have together. And I know that that's a very time-consuming job. This is also a very time-consuming board. Are you familiar with the requirements and the meeting schedule and?
I know that there are 3 meetings a month. I know that there might be other opportunities or, times when we may have to gather in person. I do want to say that serving on city council is my only job right now. And while they're both, very time consuming, in my opinion, they both complement each other. They don't compete. A lot of the work that I do on city council, I'm imagining would, positively contribute to what I hope to do on the OCHN board. So as far as attending the meetings, I talked to this, I'm not sure who I spoke with, but I don't have any concerns about attending. I was very transparent with our city council leadership, that I was seeking this. They were more than supportive. They know, how I get gung-ho about regional collaborative opportunities. And I do feel that this would continue to strengthen Pontiac's relationship with this field. I mean, it's a very, it's a very concerning problem in our city and of course among others. So I think that complement and how they, work together with each other would address the time restraint. Plus, I have a very supportive family, and the little ones that I mentioned, they're very well taken care of. So I don't have any concerns, which is why I decided to pursue this opportunity.
Thank you.
Other questions?
Yeah.
Oh,
When
Commissioner.
are the city council meetings?
They are, so they're every other Tuesday. Sometimes we go every 2 weeks. Sometimes we'll go 3 weeks, and then those are at 6 p.m.
Okay, one of the meetings is on the third Tuesday from 6 to 8. Do you have council meetings on the third Tuesday?
Not every month, no. But in my conversations with city council leadership, I explained that and my concern. They were more than understanding at that point. Our meetings, I think, go a bit longer than the meetings here, so they understood that I would come afterwards and I would attend these meetings.
Okay, thank you.
Do you have any questions for us?
Actually, I would be curious in knowing what maybe 1 or 2 top issues that the board is focused on right now, and things that are among prominent conversation.
Commissioner Luke, not to put you on the spot again. I feel like I'm always doing this to you. For OCHN
What the board was looking at were different plans based on what the state would be doing. So the state has stepped back momentarily in reorganizing community mental health. So I would say that one of the issues now is working through and with our community resources at the building on our campus right now, our crisis resources.
I ask because whether allowed to do this or not. You know, I would like to know what some of those primary, concerns are, and I'm sure that will change in a couple weeks or, the next month or so, who knows? But thank you for that insight.
Anything else? Former boss is a Boilermaker, and she would be mad at me if I didn't acknowledge that you were also a Boilermaker, so.
Yeah.
What are you, Boiler Up?
Yeah.
All right, there you go.
That's right.
I'm Ms. Martin, so that was generous, but thank you for coming in.
Thank you. If I could ask one more question? I know that the term, I saw online it would start April 1st. Just wondered when, I know you're probably hoping to make a decision this month, given that deadline, but would I expect an email or phone call?
Yeah, I don't, did you reach out afterward? Or is it
After the board meeting.
after our board meeting, which would be on the next Thursday?
11th.
The
Actually, it's
11th?
Wednesday this time.
Oh, is it Wednesday?
It's March 11th.
Okay, so after the 11th. So we would make a recommendation to the full board, and then next week at the full board meeting, it would be official.
Great. Thank you very much. I don't have any other questions.
All right, well, have a nice day.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
And Nicola Kwan. For the table, this is the penultimate interview of the day. It's a great word.
It is a great word. Let's use it. Please. Thank you.
Throw a fortnight in sometime this week. That's my challenge to all of you. And you score is next week's challenge.
You say Fortnite now, people think you're talking about the game.
I know. Good morning.
Morning.
We've got your application in front of us, so if you could just start with an elevator pitch, we'll do some Q&A.
Sure. Hi, good morning. My name is Nicole Quant. I am a federal administrative law judge. I work for the Social Security Administration, and I hear disability cases exclusively. That means that if someone applies for disability, federal disability benefits, gets denied, and they appeal, they get a hearing with the judge. So that's what I do. The disability can be determined based on physical or mental disability or a combination. So every day in my job for about the past 10 years, I spend my days reviewing medical records, therapy records, inpatient records, everything you can imagine, and then holding a hearing with the claimant and their attorney usually, and taking testimony. So these issues come in front of me on a daily basis. And then in my personal life, I was a foster mom for 8 years, and just adopted my son. But through that process, I made use of and sought out all kinds of services for him, and still do. So I have experience on a personal level. And I'm also a member of the State of Michigan Foster Care Review Board, where these issues come up, access to services and using these services to maintain the family unit, things like that, that I review monthly with other board members in that foster care realm as well.
Thank you. Questions? Commissioner Gershon, Erickson Paul.
Yes, so how flexible is your work as an administrative law judge, and do you see your ability to attend the meetings for OCHN board?
Yeah, I'm really lucky. It's very flexible. So we have what's called, it's not called flex time, something like that. But we can work any 80 hours in a 2-week period. So plus I've been a federal employee for almost 20 years, so I have lots of flexibility, lots of time off. I serve on other boards. For example, the Foster Care Review Board is actually during business hours, so I just take leave during that time and attend those meetings. So it is a demanding job, but being a federal employee and with all the time I have in, it's pretty flexible.
Thank you. Commissioner Juliet.
Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
How familiar are you with the Oakland County Health Network itself in terms of its budget and its community partners?
I don't have any personal knowledge, but I mean, I've read the website, I've done some digging, I've looked at some of the initiatives. I read a recent newsletter that had to do with access to crisis services, and it sounds like there was some misinformation in the community regarding that, and how OCHN has taken over some of those services for the walk-in crisis center. So to be completely honest, I don't have any direct knowledge other than what I've read, but I'm willing to learn, and I mean, throughout my career and personal life, I've been able to get up to speed on all kinds of things and be a productive member on various boards and things like that. So nothing personal, but I think I understand the general structure. And, I've read what the budget is and it's, large. And I know there's a lot of responsibility that the board has. So I definitely have some to learn, but I'm willing to learn and feel like I could absorb it, pretty easily.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions? What do you do for fun?
I love to play tennis. I love the outdoors. I spend a lot, my son is 9, so he plays a lot of sports. So I guess that's my fun, running him around to baseball and lacrosse and football and, stuff like that. But I'm active. I like to stay active and play sports mostly.
Awesome. Do you have any questions for us?
What are to your point, what are some of the main initiatives right now for OCHN?
Commissioner Lewis.
But budget is always primary, and you did mention the crisis services, so that's the number one priority right now is moving through that, providing services to people.
Okay, all right, thank you. And then second question was, what do you feel what makes a successful board member? I mean, I've served on other boards, but specific to that board, what do you think are some of the qualities that would make someone successful on that particular board?
Attending the meetings, joining in on the additional meetings. There are committees you can join that are not mandatory, but learning all the functions of what the board does makes a good board member.
Okay, and there's 3 mandatory in-person meetings, correct, per month?
Correct.
Okay. But no, that's all the questions I had. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. All right. Well, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you. Our last person today, always online. So Demetrius, you are online. If you could unveil yourself.
Yes. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. If you could just start with an elevator pitch and we'll do some Q&A.
Yes, first and foremost, thank you all for being flexible. I am currently in Aspen. This is my last week of a fellowship program. And it was pretty tough trying to reschedule that, of course. So again, first and foremost, thank you for your flexibility. So Demetrius Starling, I'm a resident of West Bloomfield. I've been in West Bloomfield since 2011. My background, for the most part, has been professionally with the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. I recently retired with the department back in January after 26 years. My last 5 years being the Senior Deputy Director for Children's Services. So essentially what that entailed is 3,300 employees that spanned across the child welfare continuum, doing preservation, CPS, foster care, adoption, licensing, and juvenile justice work. Also had a pretty strong relationship with the community mental health partners, more specifically with Bob Sheehan and his folks over there as we expanded our work across 83 counties. I was previously one of the leads for the Human Trafficking Health Advisory Board with the department, so working in tandem with the governor's office as they fielded recommendations relative to human trafficking survivors. More importantly, the work that we did with Ascension to ensure that those kids who were in human trafficking, who were rescued from human trafficking rings, were provided mental and behavioral health services as they were rescued by law enforcement. I also was a part of the Social Determinants of Health Steering Committee, partnering with the folks at Michigan State and Dr. Nina Sassy to really address issues such as housing insecurity, lack of food instability, lack of access to mental health services. And that really helped me create an infrastructure within the department to really address some of the crisis intervention tools that we were lacking at the time. So back in 2022, the department was sued. And as a result, we built out what is called the My Kids Now network and really enhanced our work around crisis intervention, mental health homes for our foster youth, equipping our foster parents with the tools to really help with the kids who were experiencing trauma. And also, part of my work was to also work with disenfranchised communities across the state. So I was a part of the Grand Rapids African American Health Institute Advisory Board, and working with Vanessa Green and her folks as they really tried to strengthen their community relative to the lack of mental and behavioral health services that the children and families had there in Grand Rapids. I'm transitioned over to the Kresge Foundation in Troy as of January. So I work now in human services program in the philanthropic world, and basically working with, again, communities across the state and across the nation to ensure that we are really addressing some of the societal ills that we see around lack of access, again, to the mental health world, and also providing families with that economic mobility that they need to pull themselves out of poverty.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Questions? Well, I'll start off. Okay. What are you doing in Aspen? I mean, I think I have an idea of what you're doing, but just tell me a little bit more about that. It's a really, really cool program that I think that you're doing.
Yeah, so it was an honor and a pleasure to be chosen as one of 22 fellows back in late 2024. So there's a group of fellows really crosses multiple disciplines. So you have child welfare specialists, you have early childhood development folks, you have doctors, you have folks who are in philanthropy. And Aspen Ascend chose us to be a part of this cohort. And this week is our graduation week. So yesterday was our first day here. Friday, we're going to be officially graduating. And for folks who are aware or have knowledge around the Aspen Ascend Institute, it really has been the home for a lot of really instrumental leaders across the nation. We have, reverends, we have mayors, we have governors who have been a part of this fellowship program. So I'm pretty excited to be a part of such an esteemed group.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
You absolutely have a wealth of experience to lead any group. Out of all of your careers, MDHHS, now the Kresge Foundation, what are you most proud of doing?
One of the things I'm most proud of is the work that we did in regards to, and this is what kind of drove me to provide an application, is the work that we did around providing our kids who were in foster care mental and behavioral health services. Through our data and our analysis, we saw a lot of kids who were transitioning out of foster care and into adulthood, and really were up against some really staunch changes, some really tough changes and challenges. And what we were able to identify was that there was no work upstream. There was very little therapeutic work that was being done. There was not a keen focus on, traumatic experiences. Yeah, we had the ACEs training, and we had Easter Seals that was doing some of that work with some of our small kiddos. But the kids who were 12, 13, 14 years old, they were just not being provided those services. So within the My Kids Now infrastructure, when we were able to pull together the crisis intervention work, put together CMH partners who really had a keen focus on wanting to address some of those ills for our kids who were transitioning to adulthood, and how we also partner with some other folks, whether it be early job readiness programs or getting kids into college, and also having someone walk with them during their journey, during their life, whether they're on a college campus or they're, in a job readiness program that they could talk to 24 hours. I think that's one of the biggest things I'm most proud of, making sure that those kids have ongoing support. And I call them kids, but they're actually young adults. Those young adults, the early support that they need to thrive and prosper in our nation. Because, again, I can go on and on about this, but I do believe that some of the things that we see in society as far as, some of these mental health explosions and young adults who are really stressed out in the way that they act and they're not able to self-regulate, it's because we didn't do enough on our end to equip them with the tools to be successful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Other questions? Do you have any questions for us real quick?
Just one quick question, in regards to if there was one, my assumption is ensuring that all communities are provided the services to be strong and to thrive on their own. But if there's one thing that this board could tell me as far as what would be a major issue or challenge that I would be thrust into if chosen for this, that would be greatly appreciated.
I would imagine administrative, but Commissioner Lutz.
Yeah, recently, the state of Michigan, well, and have for many years, looked at restructuring community mental health in each county.
Yeah.
So that stepped back for a minute, but looking at the budget and how to broaden the things that community mental health does that's of value to each county is probably a good place to start.
Are you speaking to the PIHP
Yes.
situation?
Yes.
Yeah, it's been quite the saga.
Yes, it has, at least 15 years.
Yes, yes.
Demetrius, I was gonna, not to put you on the spot, do you have thoughts on that you'd like to share right now?
Yeah, I do. And, and in all transparency, I think that, folks understand that when you're in state government roles, you really can't speak, your truth. But in my opinion, I don't think there's been a very symbiotic relationship between CMH and, in the department. And I think that this lawsuit is just one indicator of that. I wish that folks with level heads would have come together earlier to even prevent a lawsuit to begin with. Because in my opinion, CMH had a really strong point in regards to the unraveling or potential unraveling that could occur if the department was prosperous or was able to win that lawsuit. But in my opinion, I think that the right things are occurring now, and I see a brighter future. And I see a brighter future as far as relationship between the department and CMH. I just wish the lawsuit never had to happen in the first place.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you and enjoy Colorado for us.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Have a good one.
All right, folks, that concludes our interview portion. If you want, happy to take a stretch break.
Yeah.
You've been sitting for a little bit, so
This was unbelievable.
happy to go at recess for just a
Lots
few
of great
seconds.
candidates.
Yeah. All right, let's pop back into our committee. It's the Legislative Affairs and Government Operations Committee. And time is 10:28. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Yeah, I gotta talk to you about this.
Erickson Gall. Here. Joliot.
Here.
Gershenson. Lubes. Here. Taylor. Hoffman.
Here.
Johnson.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Should we, if it's all the same to everyone else, can we move on to, actually, no, this is correct. Our next thing is a presentation. Hi, friends. We're just going to palate cleanse a little bit and talk about books.
Books. Readers are leaders.
They are. Floor is all yours. Do you have a
Thank you.
PowerPoint or anything else? You're good.
You know, we know it's been a long morning for you all, I think. So we're actually here just to give you a quick update on the Oakland Talking Book Service. I'm Julianne. I'm the library director at the Rochester Hills Public Library, executive director there. And I have with me today Rebecca Lefebvre. Rebecca serves as our Oakland Talking Book Services librarian. And like many of you, we drop into library lingo or lingo that is associated with our occupation. So if we call it OTBS, please give us some grace. We live with our acronym on a day-to-day basis. So for us, it's mostly OTBS. In your packet, you have two things that were included. One was an annual report and then a detailed expenditure. We love to have this FaceTime with you because it's an important service, but it can largely be invisible to people that are not using it on a daily basis. So this is our one chance to come before you, give you a quick update of what happened in 2025 and look ahead to where we are in 2026. So what would you say are the three big things that we accomplished in 2025? And this is also in your report.
So we had a big software changeover. We didn't purchase the software, we kind of were given it from the state. So they decided to go with a different servicer, so we had to train everybody and get all of our hardware up to.
No, it's a good way of saying it because we are beholden to the Braille and Talking Book Library, which is in Lansing.
Yeah.
They made the decision to change. They much like any of you go out to bid. They made the decision to change their computer spine, which means we all then have to learn this new computer system. It comes at no cost to you, but there is a labor cost to us of having that learning curve. So that was a huge accomplishment this last year.
We also did the Low Vision Expo in partnership with the Leader Dogs. So I set it up and Leader Dogs hosted, and that was pretty successful. We did it in 2024 and it was bigger this year, so we were happy about that.
You did some professional development, so part of the underwriting that Oakland County affords to us is professional development for people like Rebecca or even our part-time staff member who went last year to Washington DC. But this year it took you to Des Moines, which is a national conference where you have FaceTime with the NLS, the National Library Service, so you can be a voice in the room and an advocate on behalf of them.
Yeah, because the service is through the National Library Service. It's a national network of libraries who provide the same service.
So we're one of 11 advisory and outreach centers throughout the state of Michigan. We are the largest, we have the most number of registered users, separate from Lansing, of course, and we have the highest circulation. So we're really proud of what we've been able to bring to Oakland County. We hope that our statistics bear out the fact that this is a good investment on the part of Oakland County. We'd be happy to answer any questions if you have it. Otherwise, we look forward to serving you in 2026 and beyond.
Any other questions? I mean, that's kind of one of mine, is it looks like the contract ends December 2027, so.
So we have all of 26 and all of 2027. We hope you will issue another RFP. It is a service that libraries alone can fulfill. So you need to have your library degree in order to do this kind of work. So it's not like something that you can just outsource to a senior center or some other sort of, agency that's focused on an older clientele, because that's typically who we are servicing. I think our average age is 82 years old, right?
It is, but we have resources for all ages.
Yeah. So we hope that Oakland County will issue another RFP and that we can contend and serve our clientele in all the ways that matter. It would be a loss to our community, certainly, if it went away. And all of our neighboring counties offer a service similar to this.
Agreed. Any other questions, comments? What are your favorite books nowadays?
I'm reading The Correspondent right now.
Oh, I
Has
just
anyone-
read that,
Oh,
We actually, that was our book club book yesterday for OTBS, yeah.
We did not set that up. It's a book that's composed of as letters and emails. So it's someone writing, it's sort of the old form style of communicating with one another. So the story unfolds in a very...
And she's losing her vision.
Yes. And so it's unfolding in a very deliberate way, and we're as the reader slowly learning what the action and what the challenges are for her.
Well, don't tell me, I'll have to read it.
I know.
It's one of the hot books right now.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
All right, folks, that brings us into our deliberation period. I would like to start pretty casually with just open conversation, so we'll facilitate some conversation. Commissioner Hoffman.
I wish we had more than one or two.
Yeah,
appointments.
oh my God.
Every one of them were absolutely incredible. They all had something to bring to the table.
I agree, what
Yeah, what a
ooh,
great
this
group.
is really gonna be hard.
Tough. Commissioner Loops was suggesting, I think very wisely, that we start with the one where we have a pretty limited applicant pool, which is primary consumer.
Yes.
We have one?
We have two.
applicants for that.
Who's the second? I have Cyril.
And
Jacqueline, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, okay, Cyril and Jacqueline.
So, thoughts?
I mean, they both bring something unique. I mean, Cyril obviously has been through the gamut and having his own business per se, running the clinics. And yet Jacqueline's story is very compelling also. I guess if I had to, it's a hard pick, but I would tend to go with Cyril just because of his knowledge with running those clinics in terms of contributing to the board, but it's a hard pick.
Commissioner Gershenson.
I would too, but I hate to think of discouraging her. But I do worry a little bit about her not having sat on a board like this. And I mean, it's throwing yourself into it. It's not like a gentle, it's a heavy duty lift. But I hate to not give it to her, but I think I would probably go with Cyril.
I'll go with her too, Jacqueline. I mean, she's somebody who knows the other side of that most people don't know. I mean, somebody who lived in her car flying around with her son, she knows what it is to claw your way back out of there and overcome it. I can't even imagine all those obstacles that she had to overcome, and she did it. Yeah, that's my vote.
Commissioner.
I think Cyril has the expertise and experience to be part of the OCHN board. I know one of Jacqueline's goals is to be a peer recovery coach, so that may be the next step on her journey that would be appropriate for Jacqueline.
Not that this has turned into a straw poll, but I was kind of leaning with Commissioner Hoffman, which makes you a bit of a tiebreaker, so I'm curious how you're feeling.
I'm leaning towards Cyril. I do like Jacqueline a lot. I actually had a chance to talk to her at our last LAGO meeting. She wasn't there because of this. She was there among all the people that were coming to speak about their concerns about ICE. And I really like her a lot. And so I have no negative reason against her. I just think Cyril has a stronger background in maybe understanding organizations, which I think would be really helpful to this board.
In the interest of time, I think I've read the tea leaves, and I would entertain a motion to recommend to the board the nomination of Cyril Davis to the position of primary consumer for OCHN, moved by Commissioner Loops. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Juliet. Madam Clerk, would you please prompt that?
You have 5 yeas, 1 nay.
Awesome, thank you very much.
Solves that problem.
Right. Now, the tougher one. Who wants to go first?
Not me.
Commissioner.
The next one?
Yeah, Commissioner Segal and then Lubes and then Hoffman.
Yeah, I'm going to, I would like, I liked a lot of them. You know, I think some of them had stronger backgrounds than others. I think one of the things that we need to think about in terms of this board, there's a lot of people in OCHN and in current board members who have a lot of experience with mental and behavioral health systems and so forth. The person that I like the most is Craig Brown. And why I like him is because of his background in running organizations and particularly in finance. I think OCHN has, as Commissioner Joliet pointed out more than once, a very large budget. There's a lot of numbers. Serving on the Substance Use Disorder Policy Oversight Board, I see those numbers too. And I'm not a number person, so I am very much reliant on the staff to kind of walk me through. It would be nice to have somebody who can jump in feet first, look at the numbers and not be put off by that. Because as Commissioner Lubes mentioned, monitoring the budget is a huge responsibility of that board. And so I think that that's very important. Plus, OCHN has been going through some organizational changes. It would be good to have someone with his background in organizational change. He spoke briefly about what he's been through, and I think that would, I think that would be very helpful to the board to have somebody who's seen organizations through substantial change.
Commissioner Lubes.
I agree with Commissioner Erickson Gall. And what Commissioner Hoffman said during our break is that I would love to see more openings because we have so many qualified people. I did like Nicholas as a nurse with experience in working with people. I did like Craig Brown with his experience, and his sense of humor also will help him through negotiations in his life. We have a judge, Nicole. I'm quite impressed that a judge would be willing to serve. And Demetrius Starling, Director of MDHHS, can you ask for anything more? No, we cannot. So he'd be amazing also.
Isn't he a different, he wasn't GP. I didn't think he was, isn't he
He
an
was senior
agency
deputy.
person?
He's now working for Kresge Foundation. But
Oh, you mean for position to fill?
Position on the board, isn't he agency?
Or would he be
isn't
agency?
anymore. I don't think and he's not currently at MDHHS.
he's on the board of the Kresge Foundation. He retired from MDHHS.
Okay.
Oh, okay, because I didn't think he was going for the GP, but
Well, I mean, that's the thing with GP is that literally all of them could be GP, even if they are more specialized, which is how we ended up with this vacancy in the first place because we shifted someone over. So I don't think it's a bad idea to have someone more specialized as a GP in case in the future we have to shift someone over. Commissioner Hoffman.
I wish I'd spoken first so you guys could all agree with me. Because, I support Craig Brown too. I think it's, like you said, Ann, it's, the numbers thing is so important. It's a huge budget. I think sometimes some of these boards, that's where their weakness might be. And I think he's the absolute best choice. And the others are excellent. And again, I wish we had more openings, but I support Craig Brown.
Commissioner Gershenson.
so in my talking about what this board needs, finance background was repeatedly mentioned. So of course, I thought Craig Brown has that, and I like the fact that he has dealt with crisis situations, which is, I tried to lead him towards that, he didn't bite, but I wanted to just go back because Rhonda Wilson also had finance experience. That's what I was really looking for. And I just want to be reminded, she was from Lathrop Village. She came in and said she was a little nervous, and then she proceeded to just kill the interview. She was so fantastic. But I would have no trouble going with Craig Brown. The fact that I got calls, that's very unusual, that I got calls from people I didn't know about him. You know, like sometimes your friends will call you and put pressure on. This was very unique in all my years of doing this, to get him
A phenomenal
recommended.
constituent from Madison Heights because she called to recommend Craig Brown.
Really? Nobody called me.
Well, I'm guessing she called because I'm the commissioner.
I had a unnamed countywide elected official recommend him.
Really? Well, okay.
It's the only one of those I got for this round.
So who wants to make the?
I will.
No, all right, okay.
I will move that we recommend to the board to appoint Craig Brown for the general public position on OCHA.
Support.
I'm gonna give the support to Commissioner Joy Hedge. Sorry, the Commissioner Hoffman. All right, Madam Clerk. Would you please, yes, thank you. While we're waiting for the vote to be announced, I think we all share our lamentation that there aren't more openings, and it's not an immediate thing for us, but perhaps in the next round of this that will occur, I know the easy tempting tendency is to reappoint people who are doing a good job and who have been good members of a board. And I know that we feel like we're firing them if they are seeking a reapplication. But I think that this was a particularly good round for us to remember that we have some stellar people outside. And a refresh is not always a condemnation on the performance of someone who's already there. Commissioner.
Well, we always have. When we've interviewed, we're always really blown away. This year, I think, was exceptional. But I thought this Demetrius was so unbelievable. I would like, you're saying he wouldn't fit the agency? Not that there's an opening, but I'm just thinking when there is one.
For that role.
We could, does he fit
Well,
that?
When I looked at his resume, it says he's currently working for MDHHS, so maybe his resume, are you
Isn't
saying his
updated.
resume's not updated?
I don't know, but if you could, do you call them or you send them a letter?
Email. Tracy contacts
Well, I
them.
just think he's worth a call. He was
He's
so
working at Kresge.
exceptional.
And just so you know, also, we do keep these applications on
Right.
for 1 year. So
Right.
even if like somebody resigns or something and you're having in your mind like, hey, I really like this person we interviewed, you know, we could forego the advertising process and you could, you know, pick someone.
It just started
It
at
would be
Kresge.
interesting to make like an alternate list.
Yeah.
Since we've already gone through like this process
Well,
and
that's
then
an
like create
interesting-
an alternate and just to.
That is an
If there's an
interesting idea.
opening like within a year, you know, that like we've got these were like our second and third and fourth picks and just fill it in then.
Great idea.
Yeah, I mean, we can, if that does happen, I mean, I can give you the list of who you interviewed already when you are considering an opening.
Yeah, his,
And the video is always available
I'm
to
sure we could go
refresh
back and do our homework that way too.
for the
Yeah.
last meeting, yeah.
Also, put it in the notes in your app right here, because the notes stay forever. And they're private. I've gotten real sassy in my notes.
The judge was amazing. The Pontiac City Councilwoman was amazing.
yes.
So good.
It was, Chris, not to mention Chris Burke, who was amazing as well.
Vera Khan had a very interesting background.
She was fantastic. I liked City Councilwoman Jones. She gave the best elevator pitch, I think, of all of them.
Yeah, she was
Very impressed by that.
She must have spent a lot of time indoors.
Yes.
She was ready to go.
68 0 days, that appointment has been referred to the full board. That concludes our regular agenda and our irregular agenda. Any other business, any announcements anyone has?
Wow, that was heavy duty.
I gotta say that I thank you all for being efficient with that. That could have gotten a lot more hurried. It was nice.
that is the materials
Yeah.
management.
That's true, that's true. All right, well, without any further ado, I'll adjourn. It's 10:48 a.m.